Yesterday we had so fantastic intervention during this sports summit, and today again is going to be great because we are now in an emblematic temple of sport, and it's a great place to host the traditional gathering of cities and federation, and with the IF session and marketplace to be placed. We are now in this international renewed arena to end the summit with a world tour of initiatives around engagement, citizenship, and sport in just 1 hour and 3 stops: Los Angeles, Dakar, and Tokyo. And for that, we will now have the pleasure to meet Caroline Flessier, the CEO of the French Tennis Federation and director of Roland Garros, for the welcome word. For over 20 years, Caroline Flessier has been driven by a constant quest for performance, staying close to the field, by a passion of innovation and teamwork, and by a strong commitment to promote diversity. Caroline Flessier's mission is the operational management of Roland Garros, of course, and of the federation, and of the international tournaments, Roland Garros, Rolex Paris Masters, Greenwich Paris Premier Padel Major. She puts her creative, results-oriented approach, her knowledge of transformation within complex environments, and her relentless energy at the service of a long-term vision for the development of tennis, paddle, urban tennis, and wheelchair tennis. Please welcome Mrs. Caroline Flessier.
Thank you. So good morning, everyone. So on the behalf of the FFG, well, welcome to the Roland Garros Stadium. It's a great honor to have you all here today. Well, it's very challenging. I mean, smart cities, what I really like about smart cities is the fact that there's no unique definition of smart cities. I think I heard talking about smart cities for the last 20 years or something like that, and everyone has his own definition of smart cities. What is a smart city? And what the good thing about it, in fact, is the fact that we can improve smart cities the way we want. We can make it smarter cities, smarter territories, and we can do it in our own way. And this is really what I really like about smart city, and this is also what we do at the FFT, is doing our way the improvement, fighting against the climate change, and doing our part of the job. So what I'm going to do this morning is maybe to introduce you to the Roland Garros Stadium. I don't know for how many of you it's the first time here. Maybe you've all been there already, but I think it's always good, to know where we're coming from. So maybe we can start with a small introduction to the Roland Garros Stadium. So first of all, who was Roland Garros? So I don't know if you guys know who was Roland Garros. So Roland Garros was a French fighter pilot and a pioneer in aviation. He began his career in 1909 and performed many early feats before joining the French army, becoming one of their earliest fighter pilots during World War I. Unfortunately, he was shot in 1918. So so that was Roland Garros. The stadium was named after him. We called it Roland Garros in 1928, and we hosted the Davis Cup that was won by France the previous year. So we had to build the stadium of Roland Garros because of the Davis Cup, and we had it's a home and away competition, and we had to host the Davis Cup. So this is the why we built the stadium. And at that time, in the 1920s, so it was the glorious years for the French tennis. So I don't know if you recognize those two characters, those two people, but on the women's side, you have Suzanne Lenglen. Suzanne Lenglen was she was the first world #1 tennis woman player, and she won 21 Grand Slam, which is massive, as you all know. And on the men's side, we had four young Frenchmen calling themselves the Four Musketeers that won almost every Grand Slam at that time. And here, so you have René Lacoste. His nickname was the Crocodile, and maybe the Lacoste brand. But it was so that was that was the glorious, it was a real glorious period of the French tennis. In its initial configuration, the stadium was almost 5 times smaller. So I think maybe you drove through the stadium and you're going to have a visit later. But it was 5 times smaller than today, and we had only 5 courts. Today we have 18. So, well, that was in 1928. And it was during the 70s that we started to do the first extension of the grounds of Roland Garros. So we began at 3 hectares. So at the very beginning, the stadium was 3 hectares. And now we've reached 12 hectares with 18 courts. So, of course, it's clay, for those who don't know. But this is, that was Roland Garros. Well, it's an old picture of Roland Garros. And in parallel, of this extension of space, we've done massive renovation of the stadium, especially during those last 10 years. We've invested around 400 million euro in the stadium. Well, you know, tennis, it's very competitive. The world of tennis is changing a lot, and we have the 4 Grand Slam that are the pinnacle of the sport of tennis, and so we have to renew all the infrastructure all the time. And this is also, and I know Viviane is going to talk to you about that later, but this is really also one of the reasons is we have to be part of that society, and so we're part of the change, and we are always questioning ourselves of how can we do it better and in a more sustainable way. So this is what we've done, and well, here you have a picture of one of the latest, and you will see it. So it's the construction of a retractable roof for the Philippe Chatrier court, so the center court, and you can see the shape of the pieces of the roof. I don't know what it reminds you, but it's a reminder of the wings of the plane of Roland Garros. So this is really, you know, we're redoing infrastructure, and we want it to be top quality, top standard for the stadium, for the French Open tournament, and you know, every detail is really looked after, and this is for us very important. We are right now, and you will see part of it. I mean, you will see when you will visit the Suzanne Lenglen. We're doing also a new roof on the Suzanne Lenglen court, and it's still ongoing. It will be finished by the end of January 2024. This is really part of the works, and this is part of the heritage from the Olympics. And you can see the shape of the roof. Well, it should remind you the skirt of Suzanne Lenglen, because Suzanne Lenglen was known as being very elegant, and she was very, you know, she was a very elegant player. So we've also worked on something new court. So in 2019, we had this new court, which is built within the Serre d'Auteuil. So Serre d'Auteuil, it's a garden right next to Roland Garros. I don't know if you're going to see it, but it's inside a greenhouse. So we have next to Roland Garros gardens, and there are greenhouse, and we had this project in common with the city of Paris to build this court inside the greenhouse. So this is just amazing. It's a really outstanding piece of work, because from the inside, the outside, you can't see there's a tennis court inside this greenhouse, and you have a 5,000 seat greenhouse. So it's a long story, because of course you can imagine that there had been a lot of discussion between the city, between the FFT, between all the area, because here you're in Paris, but just facing the sideway, just facing Roland Garros, it's Boulogne, so it's another city. So we have many different discussion, and that was a complete project, but in the end we managed to do it, and thank you again to Paris, to the city of Paris, because they really supported this project. So, well, of course, it's fantastic to look at all those changes and to see what we what we have here at the stadium. And until 2021, in fact, the stadium was brimming only for 3 weeks during the year. So during the French Open tournament, during springtime, we had the whole stadium, living again. But then the rest of the year, the stadium was empty. So there's something about space, because we are here, you're in Paris, and well, of course, space is is a very precious resource. So we had the vision and the new governance, and the chairman of the French Tennis Federation had a strong will to develop the stadium, to open it to more public, more different audience, and to launch a program called Stade à l'année. So this Stade à l'année means that we have a stadium that lives throughout the years. So here we are organizing all kind of different events. So this is, we started small, I can't say small because nothing is small at Roland Garros, but we started with really, testing some new events, new seminar. We've been doing a lot of, well, you hear also because it's the Stade à l'année, so it's this program, to open up the stadium, to share the history of the stadium. It's very important for us, and to have more and more public to come here and to imagine new kind of event. So here you have, for example, boxing. So, well, we've tried boxing and it's working well, so well that we're going to have a new event like in December, December the 9th, I think. And then we're going to run boxing also for the Olympics. So this is really, well, it was first a test. It was a big success, so we're redoing it. So this is really how we work. We're trying. This is the center court. So can you imagine this on the center court? It's when you will see the center court, you can think about this. I mean, this is just amazing. And the question is that what kind of limit do we put, to this? What can we do? What can't we do? Because of the neighborhood, because of the patrimoine and the legacy that we want to have, the footprint also. So this is really, something global. But we decided just to test and just to move forward. So we did also basketball, and this is again, it's about space, it's about sharing. This is a story that I really like. It was during the French Open tournament this year. So we were the last Wednesday, I think, of the tournament, so second week. The teams were just exhausted because it's a lot of work. And then we received this call from the Basketball Federation saying that we want to organize the final of the basketball championship, French championship of basketball, with the last game of Victor Wembanyama. And the thing is that, are we doing it? Don't we do? I mean, what can we do? Because they needed space, they needed like this kind of infrastructure. Because here it's 15,000 seats, so it's and it was a very important game. So we asked the teams, and the teams actually were like, well, this is a no-brainer, we have to do it because it's the last game of Victor in France, and well, we have to do it. It's our responsibility, as being part of the sports, and we have to do our part on that. And even if they were exhausted, even if, well, the tournament has been a great success, and they could have said, well, it's enough, we are just, we've already have success. No, we just keep moving forward, and we did this, and it was, honestly, it was amazing because 3 days after the final of Roland Garros, you were sitting there and you had the impression that this center court is just a basketball arena. I mean, that was made for that. So this is also what we're doing. We're doing stand-up show comedy. So again, we had this stand-upper, so his name is Fari, and he's a stand-upper. And he got here once, and he was like, oh, I want to do a show here, so let's try and do it. And we did it, and it worked very well. Paddle, so paddle experience. We now, so the French Tennis Federation is developing paddle, so we're in charge of paddle. And so we we decided to start by organizing one of the 4 major of paddle. So this is the Greenwich Paris Major Premier Padel tournament. And again, this is center court. It's covered because it was very hot. And I mean, it was very, very hot. So we had to cover it. But then, you know, again, that was a great success. We did also, I don't know if you recognize this, but this is breaking dance. And that was the Red Bull BC1 World Final. Again, big success. We really enjoyed to do that because, well, it's all different. The music is super loud. The breakers, the dancers are like top professional, and now it's one of the competition of the Olympics. So it was a new experience, and we really liked it. So, well, I think we'll if we can redo it again, we'll do it. And all that makes sense. And of course, we are, you know, organizing the Grand Slam means that we have a complete infrastructure, and we can do many different things. And again, coming back to space and infrastructure, we have this great infrastructure. We have also a media and digital center, broadcast center. And this is an asset that we feel that we need to share. And it's our responsibility to do it. So this is the media center, for example, and broadcast center. And here, well, this is something that we built, you know, just for the French tournament. We build it every year. So this is the way we were doing it. But 23, we had French Open, and then the World Rugby Cup, and then we have the French Open 24, and then the Olympics. So we had this approach, thinking, reflecting, okay, well, you know, maybe there's something we can do all together. We don't have to build it and then put it down and then build it again. Maybe we can share it, or everybody can use it. And in the end, so I don't know if there are a rugby fan in the room, but during the World Rugby Cup, in fact, their broadcast center was here, and it was there. I don't know if you heard about the bunker, you know, where the referee were discussing about, you know, a yellow card or goes to a red card or not, but that was here. So it was, and we had all the media center, we had journalists and so on, and it worked very well. So for us, it was. It was very interesting. It was a real opportunity, but it's also inspiring, you know, because if they can do it, you know, remotely, I mean, maybe it can give us idea and we can reflect on this. So that was, this is a real asset, and that was new for us to have this double reflection. And then, 2024, I think you've heard of it. So there are the Olympics in here, and we are part. So we've been selected as the 41 Olympic venue. I'm sure you've had discussion. I've heard you have discussion with Thomas Bach yesterday. So maybe you talk about all the organization of Olympics and what it is to organize such game in France. From our point of view, it's a great thing, you know, that the Olympics, the CIO had this new this new norm. You know, I don't know if you've shared about this, but just the vision of the IOC to ensure that the games are affordable, beneficial, and sustainable for us is really key. You know, because they want to use existing infrastructure, they want to have a sustainable model, and for us that totally makes sense. I mean, the FFT is a non-profit organization. And what we want to do is really share and optimize what we have. Because this is how we make the sport live in France. So for us, this is more than a win-win thing that we're doing with the Olympics, the city of Paris, and so on. It's we're creating value. You know, just using our infrastructure. So what we're going to do is that we are going to use the infrastructure, and well, one of the specificity of the FFT is that we're going to deliver also the event, because we know how to do this. I mean, here, as you saw, we're running many different events, and tennis is it's our thing. So we know how to deliver this kind of competition, and it's a really creation of value because we share the methods of the IOC. For us, it's a new way of working. You know, being part of something bigger, we're not used to that because, well, we are running one of the Grand Slam. I mean, it's the pinnacle of tennis. So being part of something which is bigger is a new experience for us, for the teams. It's great because we get to learn from each other, and it's very powerful. You know what we are doing here. It reduces complexity, of course, of the operations, and it reduces cost. And this is really key, is how to be sustainable. It means also sustainable and being profitable, because we want sustainable model. We want to be here, you know, in 100 years from today. And of course, we need to develop new sustainable model that make sense and that have impact. So yes, we're gonna host tennis, boxing, wheelchair tennis. We're gonna have around more than 500,000 visitors during the Olympics, and we know how to do this. So as an example, during Roland Garros, we have around 630,000 visitors during 3 weeks. So we do know how to do that, to run security, to run all the infrastructure. So this is really what we do. And then yes, I just wanted to finish and to emphasize on the legacy of the Olympics. It's a really key thing because. Everything that we do here at the FFT, we are a federation, so our main goal is really the legacy and the footprint that we have on the territories, everywhere on the territories with the infrastructure. I mean, there are more than 7,000 tennis clubs, you know, in France, and we have more than 100,000 volunteers in France, you know, just to support tennis and to have all the clubs and regions work around tennis. So for us, the legacy of all this and what we're doing here in Roland Garros is really deployed and rolled out within the regions. And it's the same for the Olympics. What we're going to do here during the Olympics, we're going to try to deploy it and to share with all our stakeholders everywhere in France. So it's for us, it's really key. And I guess that's it. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what we're doing in here, working together with all our stakeholders, with the Paris 2024, the IOC, the IPC, the Ville de Paris. It's just a great cause to have a shared objective. It's really, for us, it's key. We're trying to be better all the time, delivering the best sporting event possible. And this is, for us, very important. Viviane would share it with you. And I guess, again, it's a great, you know, everybody's looking for a new purpose. And here, I mean, we know what we do. We have this vision, we have this purpose. I mean, we are really purpose-driven, and to be able to do our part and to do our best, it's just, it's honestly a real pleasure. And I hope you're sharing this with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline.